HBQ, how are you this morning?
I am good. I am good. I am here.
Not
It's
tired?
Monday. It's March. Can you believe you know when it's March because you wake up and the sun is already up. There's no dark sky.
Mm,
So I get a little
gets
bit more
brighter.
cheerier as the months go on.
Mm,
Good morning everyone. Do you know what the difference is? Today we're both wearing pink tops and it looks like you're
pink,
wearing white.
white,
Mine looks
yes.
a little bit more pink. Yours is bright. You
I
got some
think I need to change my it's the brightness of the light that's coming from outside that's like, But yeah, got to big up straight out of the record box sponsors of the Breakfast Flight Show, and definitely if you want your tops, definitely got some great tops, all different colours. Tell you what, got a couple of, there's a green one that I got to send to one of the prize winners. We've not sent it yet. Naughty, naughty us. Should have sent it a couple months ago, but they've got
need the address. Need the address.
a beautiful, oh yes, I haven't sent you the address yet. A beautiful colour green with yellow writing on it. Absolutely, I'm definitely going to get myself one of those. And
Yeah.
a lovely blue T-shirt
And we
for
need to
two
sort that out and
winners.
get it sent.
Yeah, we got that sent that today. We must get it, you know what I mean? Because they must be thinking we're jokers.
Yep. Well, good morning to everyone on Mixcloud, first of all. The Genie, good morning. And Wolf Michael Fister, my dear, special good morning to you, sir. And of course, Sharky DJ, D Brown, Swaby Irie, promoting up a storm. First Lady, did you see? Spice, nice, my lovely. Maureen, Renee, Verona Green. Sorry, I have to do my shouts out so they know that I'm acknowledging Kimmy Kim, Lady B, and I don't know if I missed anybody else out. Did I miss anybody else out on my morning row? Huntsville, who's this? I can't see the name. Huntsville Jam, is that? Good morning also, and Spiceness. I think I said her. Sharky's just ducked out for a hot minute. So good morning to everybody. I hope you're doing well. Feels like we haven't been here for a little while now. We've been raving it up far too much. And we
Yeah,
was
you've been
even
out a
out.
lot, haven't you?
I have. It's every weekend, literally in March as well. It's just a bit non-stop. I need to rest up. You haven't got your camera on screen, or is it me?
Yes, I know. Just sorting out
Ah.
something. We'll be on
Oh, it's
soon.
because I
I know
could
you
hear
miss
you.
me.
It was very... Now you've transposed
I'm
yourself.
still
Oh,
here.
there we go. There we go. You're back. You're back. Well, it's been a hot...
Trying to get the pink sorted out, right? Trying to get it showing. All right. So,
It's a bit more. You've got it a bit more. Showing a bit more. But
mhm.
it's been a mad week, hasn't it? Over the weekend with so many people passing. Angie Stone, not Angie B, as you've been calling her all morning, Sharky.
I think Angie B was her original name, you know.
Oh,
That's why I
was
keep
it?
saying Angie B. Yeah,
Maybe it's Angie B Stone. That could be
yeah,
why.
yeah.
I
Angie
think
B
you
was
could be
originally,
correct.
then changed it to Angie Stone. But I got to check that
Yeah,
out. I'm sure she was called Angie B
you never
in
know.
the early days.
Yeah, but some great information about her. So thank you very much for that. Also, Roberta Flack passed. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And who was the other one? Gwen McCrae. Three great singers in each of their genres and generations have gone. What's the world coming to? I can't take it when we see our icons just suddenly passing. And Angie Stones, I nearly called it Angie B, was obviously in a situation that wasn't kind of like what you say natural. It wasn't sort of like a natural death that she had. It was in a car crash coming back from a concert. So rest in peace to those three great icons that have now
Mm.
passed, and a great tribute to the music that you've been playing, Sharky. The other person in the news that has passed was Gene Hackman. So Gene
Yes.
Hackman and his wife, they found, I think after a cleaner had come in, and they had been dead for weeks. Their bodies were actually literally nearly mummified.
I didn't know that his wife had passed as well.
Yeah, his wife, his wife, and a dog were all found to
Wow.
be dead, and I think the dog was found in a cupboard. At first, they're trying to work out the cause of death, let alone how long they've been there for. And as you know,
Hmm.
the length of time is crazy, and
Yeah.
it gets me thinking that if I die tomorrow, who's going to come in and check on me? You know, who's around me? Luckily, I've got my son here. You know, you're around. But what about for the people that are on their own? You
Mm.
know, and it just gets me thinking, how often do we check in with people to make sure they're okay? And if we don't hear from them, do we just leave it and think it's somebody else's duty to make sure they're
Yeah.
okay? It's horrible to die in those circumstances without people finding you, or it's being weeks later, not even days, weeks. So it's tough. It's tough.
It is
As they said,
very.
the bodies were nearly mummified. They had no eyes. They don't know how long they were down
Wow.
for, and they just need to try and work out the cause of death. So rest in peace to fabulous actor as well. One of my favourite films, The Mississippi Burning, had me in tears with him and William Dafoe. Now, William Dafoe is my little secret love affair. I don't know what it is about. Maybe it was the glasses, but I had a secret crush on William Dafoe for years. I still do whenever he's in films. And he was in one of those superhero films, William Dafoe. Can't remember which one it was. One of those Disney, Marvel type things. But he's absolutely an amazing actor, William Dafoe, and so was Gene Hackman. And he was in another movie that I liked with Kevin Costner. Really bad acting from Kevin Costner. I can't remember the film. No Way Out. That's it.
I remember that film. Yeah.
Brilliant film. Literally some bad acting, but it became an iconic film for some reason. A bit like one of Brad Pitt's films. But he, amazing actor. And again, it's sad to see when anyone dies in these sorts of deaths. And we don't know. It might not be suspicious circumstances. It may mean that they decided on a death pact, because he was a lot older than her. She was in her 60s, but he was in his 90s or late 80s. So we don't know. We don't know. Especially if it's a dog. It could be their favourite dog, because people don't like to leave their dogs, and dogs don't like to leave their humans. So
Yeah.
you never know. You never know. And Lady B says, back to Angie Stone, she is Angie Brown before she became Angie Stone. So you are correct while you were calling her Angie B. Sharky. I knew you knew your music. You do know your stuff. That's why I kind of...
Yeah, because I remember back in the day there was Angie B, but I didn't actually realise that she changed her name to Angie Stone. That I thought Angie Stone was quite young when she I think she changed it when she went into Vertical Hole, if I remember right. She might have changed it around about that time. I wasn't sure. I didn't actually. I knew about Angie B, but I didn't know about Angie Stone. The name change. So, yeah.
Well done to you there. Anyway, we've had that dedication. Hope Sharky's doing a dedication show today on these three wonderful superstars. If it was a longer show, I'm sure we'd show Mississippi Burning for everyone to watch on Mixcloud, but I'm sure we'll get banned at some point. But I'm going to dig up that film. I need to see my two favourite actors in that film. Now, what else happened last week was that Sharky and I wasn't here. We had gone to the Therme Spa. Let's change up the story a little bit, because I'm smiling now.
That was great.
How great was the Therme Spa? Now, if you've never been, if you love a spa, don't do it in the UK, because the prices are absolutely ridiculous. I've got this great little voucher deal for £148. We went on a flight and a 2-day stay and access to the spa and pick up and drop off to the spa also. And we spent 2 days there, and it was absolutely amazing. They've got 3 zones: Galaxy, Palm, and Elysium. Now, the Palm is the area where there's like a big pool, and it's heated. I mean, it's just, you can sit in it all day. There's bars in the pool, there's loads of bars dotted around, and then you can swim outside. Outside it's cold, there's snow outside, but it's very warm. And in fact, the pool was warmer outside than it was inside. And then there's hundreds, thousands of lounges that you can see and sit down on, towel dryers, all sorts of amenities. It really is very cool. Lockers inside. And then you've got the Galaxy, which is slides. If you love a slide and you've got kids, that's the place to be. You could be in there all day. In fact, Sharky and I went on 1 or 2, and that was it. We gave up. We said, "No, man, we're too old for our bodies to be going through this." This water slide was like a roller coaster. It was like a roller coaster. I was so scared I couldn't go on it again.
I didn't mind going on, but I've got a bit of a shoulder injury, and when I went down on that, are you talking about the slide, the one where I hurt my shoulder?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as it went down round the corner, I kept bouncing against the sides, and it was just like, I was like, oh man, I was enjoying it, but then I started to get a bit frightened because it was knocking me down quite a bit. So I just had to do the one slide, and that's it. But you went on quite a few of them. It was quite good.
It was good. The bigger ones, I was a bit. As I got older, I haven't got the same confidence in that daredevil. Yeah, let's go for it. Going outside in the cold, Kimmy Kim. Yes, yes, because it was hot. The spa, the sauna place in the Elysium was amazing. You had about 5, 6, 7 types of saunas. You had the Hollywood sauna where you could actually go and watch a movie and chill out. They were showing the
Yeah.
dinosaur one. I didn't want to come out, but I had to go and look around other places. You had your normal saunas. They had the rainforest where you saw Sharky and I under the water that was pouring down, where I mash up my hair for the
And
rest
that
of
was
the trip.
cold.
No, that wasn't that cold. That was lovely.
Was it
Refreshing.
tepid? Refreshing. It was refreshing. It wasn't
It was
cold, but
refreshing.
it was nice, and it's
It was,
quite heavy
yes,
on your
it's
skin.
very heavy. Yes, don't go in there with your weave, girls. Don't go in there with your weave. It's going to disperse it. It will move it to the side, or you'll see it floating around in the water. So, take off the weave before you go in the rainforest.
Yeah, it was great. To get to the other two spas, I can't remember what they were called. You had to go outside in the cold to get to them. That's the deal. But it was worth it. HBQ literally ran out. I think you've got a video of you running
Yeah.
straight across in a bikini, straight across to the other spa. But to be honest with you, once you're in the heat so much, being
Don't feel
outside
it.
in the cold for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you actually don't really feel it. And it is refreshing, and it's good
It
to cool
is.
the body down, get into another spa. Get another part of the spa. They had this area where they put, and the heat was hot. I mean, they had to shut the door. Once it started, you couldn't go in. And then a lady would put water in and wind you around, and it got hotter and hotter. I
No,
think
she
one
was
person
putting
walked out.
ice. She had ice balls. I don't know if there was some sort of concoction in them, but
Yeah,
the
there was a
way that
different smell, wasn't there?
yeah, the what they did was it raised the heat in the sauna significantly by what she was doing. It was like a really, really, really hot sauna, but it was absolutely fantastic. And then by the time you came out of there to walk out into the cold, it was just like, yeah, I need to cooling down. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
It was brilliant, brilliant.
Yes. Well, when we come back after this track, we'll get on with some news. That was our kind of little foray out last week. Thoroughly worth it. They have therme
Definitely.
spas in Milan, and they also have them in Hungary. So I want to go and move around and check out some of them. They also found the therme spa in Bath. Now, Bath is famous for some of its hot spas also. Want to go and check it out, but it's very expensive. It's much more expensive than in Romania. So try the Romanian one. And they hold up to 6,000
Thou-
people. Do not go on a weekend. I repeat, do not go on a weekend. Go during the week. Go very, very early to get your seat. And if you don't mind mingling in chlorine water with 6,000 people, then you'll be all right.
I'll tell you what.
Remember the
you
chlorine
definitely need to
story?
get down there as early as possible, because after a certain time, all the beds, they all go, and then you kind of want a base to put your stuff down. And people are leaving phones all over the place. We was like, me not leave my phone to give nobody an opportunity, but they were like phones everywhere. Nice, honest, but there's always one that's going to spoil it, isn't it?
Yeah, Spice Nice says she's going there on Saturday with her cousins for the day, going early morning, come back late night. I do hope you're not on Wizz Air, because if Wizz Air delay you and you get there after 11 on Saturday, baby girl, there's going to be a queue winding right the way round the corner. The driver told us Saturdays and Sundays are the worst days to
We
go.
saw the pictures. He showed
Yeah.
us some pictures of a Saturday people trying to get in, and the queue was heaving. It was terrible. So
Go
if you
right
are
the way
going to go,
round.
hopefully you'll get in by sort of 9, 10, be one of the first in,
And get a seat.
and run. And the first seat that you see,
Take
tip
it.
for you, the first empty beds that you see, put your marker down and then walk around and look for more beds, and then you can move around that way. But take the first one that you see, because you may
they
come
do
back
go
and
very, very quickly.
they go quickly.
It's like being in Tenerife, the beach run. When you see those YouTube videos when the gates open and everyone runs to get the sun loungers. It wasn't like that when we went, but on a Saturday, Sunday, typically, yes. So there'll be no chairs by midday. None.
Okay, the HPQ. Right, let's play.
Yeah, it is very sad. Oh my gosh. But moving on very quickly, I know that Adelaide Mackenzie's liking all these tunes. Some of these tunes I'd not even heard of, to be quite honest with you, and some I have. So it's nice to have a little revival type show. HBQ says, okay, we'll try and tell my cousins thank you for the information. Yes, yes, it does get very busy. Be prepared for it to be absolutely crazy on a weekend. Don't want that to deter you or put you off. Have a great time and make sure you experience all the zones. And let us know on Monday.
So what we'll do, we've got a WhatsApp group going on there. I've put the link into the chat room. It was the former news group that we had. We've changed it to the Breakfast Flight Show. That will only be on or live during the radio show, but we will put information of where these spas are and some advice. And if there's anything, you can message one of us personally, and we will send that information to you directly. So yeah, anything that we do talk about on the show that you want links and stuff like that will be in the group, and also eventually it will be the only place that we'll promote the show, because obviously when you do a broadcast, trying to get everyone into the groups, and then most of the information will be in there for the Breakfast Flight Show.
All right, you heard it from Mr. Sharky DJ. Now, let's get on to some film reviews.
Over to you.
So I've been watching some films over the past couple of weeks whilst I've been away, and I've got some films that I just kind of want to mention out there. Now, Big George Foreman is running on Netflix at the moment. What a fantastic film. Loved it. Loved George Foreman. Didn't know all of that information about behind him being a minster and succumbing to the Lords, and of course being a boxer, why he went back into the ring at such an older age and how he won. Just shows how much you can achieve. And it was absolutely fantastic. So I do recommend to watch Big George Foreman. Absolutely fantastic film. You might cry one or two times. I cry. So, I like to watch films like that. So, yes. And one of the other films that I watched, I don't want to give too much away if you haven't watched the film itself, but obviously it's almost like a biographical account of his life and how he rose to fame in terms of the boxing arena and life thereafter. But the other film I watched that has been out for a while, called The Freedom Writers. Hilary Swank was in that film. Now, this film was out in the 90s, I believe it was. 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember. And I love Hilary Swank. I think she's an absolute fantastic actress. But I kind of shied away from watching these type of films, like the white savior coming into a black school and doing the bit and being the star that they are. But I actually sat down and watched the film properly, and actually it's a brilliant film. Has a great story, and it's based on a true biographical account of a teacher at a school that went in to one of the classes that were never planned to succeed. Never stood a chance, and she turned it completely around to the adversity of some of the teachers there. She was a brand new teacher in as well, and managed to get this class full of gangs, basically, or delinquents, you could say in our terms, and changed it all around. Fantastic story, great film, and one that I would recommend to watch if you have not watched it already. It's a film that's been out a very long time. The only downside, Freedom Writers.
Freedom Writers, okay.
Yeah. The only downside of the film was that the focus, obviously, it wasn't so much a downside, but a clever twist to the story. But the film focused on teaching the students, and they weren't just black students, they were all students from that lived in rough areas, whether they were white, black, or whatever. And she basically was teaching them about what happened in the Holocaust. None of them knew. And she brought in one of the women that hid Anne Frank in the attic. So they learned all about the diary of Anne Frank. They actually raised money to bring this woman over to speak to them, and they were in awe of what happened to the Jews. And it was great seeing that type of story, black people going through adversity, but the focus not being on black people, but focused on the plight of another race that went through similar adversities as what we have done. So on that sense, it was good. I felt like it was highlighting that more so than the rest of the movie, but apart from that, it was a great movie. Absolutely loved it. I've got two more to talk about, but let's talk about that during the course of the show, because I think we want to get on with some news. One of them was the Gabby Petito story and Belle Gibson. Oh, and that new black film that's out, One of Them Days. Oh, got to talk about that. Really got to talk about that. Really do.
Sounds good. Yeah, we've got to watch that one. So,
You're jigging out all the great
HPQ.
classics. Yes, you are indeed. Some wonderful tunes. Killing Me Softly. Ooh. Even the Fugees remix was great, but the original.
Oh, I love the Fugees remix, but the thing about it is that particular track. I mean, everybody knows when that comes in, and you kind of
Down.
expect it.
What? Sorry, I was going to go into my rapping phase. Anyway, good morning, Howard Thomas. He says, was a good movie, George Foreman. Yes, it was. Thank you very much. And he also said the Gabby story was good. The police made a number of mistakes. Listen, you've got to watch that Gabby. Did I say Petito? Let me get my little notebook out where I had it written down.
Post it in the WhatsApp group. So that
Gabby, Gabby Petito story. Yeah, about this young lady they went backpacking around the US, and suddenly he comes back but she doesn't. It was in the news. It was all over the news a few years ago, wondering where she is, and they found her. She was dead. He had been killed, and then he killed himself, and it was just hard to watch. The number of people that should have been accountable wasn't. So a very interesting story, but I love those type of stories. So please watch that movie, the Gabby Petito story. Absolutely excellent movie. Now, if you love stuff like that, then you would like the Belle Gibson one. I think it's called The Unmasking of Belle Gibson Instagram story. It's about a woman that rose to fame on Instagram a few years ago. Now, she said she had a brain tumor, right, and that she was dying, and that she actually reversed the effects of having a brain tumor through the healthy eating that she was doing. So she conjured up a book called the Open Pantry, I think it was. She got a deal with Apple. Her food app was one of the first apps to go on the Apple Watch when Apple first launched its watch. And Penguin Books decided to release the actual book. But it found out that this woman did a string of lies. It was just bare lies. One particular year, she said she had died twice, had 2 heart attacks, a secondary cancer, a tumor or whatever, and it was. She got outed by a report. One of her friends actually thought it was a bit suspicious that they hadn't seen any documentation and that her hair was glowing, a bit like Catherine Middleton. Got cancer, but your hair's still all glowy, your face is glowy, you're not showing signs of anything whatsoever, But anyway. But it's a very good story about how she was found out and subsequently what she's doing afterwards. And you can actually go onto YouTube and watch the actual interview that was done in Australia. 60 minutes, it was called. Brutal. Very brutal interview. That's how I like interviews to be when you're holding someone to account. You ask them those difficult questions and you don't let it go until they've answered them. Put them under pressure and let it happen. Not like Prince Andrew. He got away with a lot from Emily Matisse.
He did indeed, yeah.
Yes. But absolutely, those are my film reviews for the week. Please watch them. All right, the one about Belle Gibson, Gabby Petito, George Foreman, and the Freedom Writers, if you want to go back in time and watch something.
I think I saw the Freedom Writers. I'm sure I've seen that one.
First Lady said, good viewing. She went, liar, liar. All right, we'll try and see if that one's a good one as well. Try and watch some. So if you've got any films that you want to recommend, please do so, because I will be doing my little film recommendations every week as I do watch them, especially the good ones. Now, one of the films you mustn't watch is One of Them Days. It's out in the cinema. Don't ask me how I've watched it, but I've watched it. Good old Fire Stick. One of Them Days, I put myself through watching this, and I really wish I didn't. It was one of the worst movies I've watched. So don't go to the cinema to watch it. I'm sorry.
Why was it the worst one?
Just the storyline was...
What's the reason behind it?
The storyline wasn't that great. It wasn't funny. It's supposed to be part comedy, part serious. I didn't find it funny. I found it boring, and I couldn't wait for it to finish, and I actually watched it till the end. There's not one part of it that I thought, this is fun. They tried to have some funny anecdotes, some funny lines in there and things going on that typically black people do, but it just wasn't funny. It really wasn't. Wasted my time, to be honest with you. I'm so disappointed.
Sensation.
Oh, everyone loved Funky Sensation. Definitely loved it. And thank you for the film recommendations, First Lady. I think I've seen Cassandra. I've definitely seen The Beast. Jury's out in that. I love Idris Elba, but I don't think he's a great actor. I know that I know that I'm going to put some people's noises out of joint. Beautiful man, starred in some great films, but he's not the best actor. I'm sorry, I'm putting it out there. I don't know if anybody else wants to agree with me or not, but Idris Elba, for me, is a mediocre actor. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
I haven't enjoyed a lot of his films. I don't think his acting is that brilliant, and he certainly can't do an American accent, and I really hate when he tries. It's just awful. So I'll leave it there. I'll wait to see what anyone's got to say, whether I'm going to get a virtual slap
I
on the face.
ain't getting involved.
Who agrees with me that they think Idris is a mediocre actor? Do you think he should be getting the fire shots that he gets for his films? No, I'm sorry.
Well, I think it's, coming from the UK, one of the UK black actors that are out there, he's
Big him up,
managed
support
to
him every time.
do very well. And, I just got to big up the guys when they can do well in the American world. The Beast, is that the one with the lion?
Something, sir.
That's the one with the lion, where the lion...
See, even Jamaican's coming out. That's when you know.
That's the one with the lion, isn't it? When the lion's... he goes... I can't remember what happened, but it had the lion in it, isn't it? That's the one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, watch that, yeah.
I mean, it's a good...
I'm not sure if I enjoyed that particular one. But he has, you know what? There is some good one. Like when he acted in The Wire, that was very good. That was Hook, and there's a couple of films that he's done that I really like. So I think maybe you need to watch a bit more Idris's films.
I've watched a lot of Idris films. Trust me, I have. I've watched within 10. I mean, a good-looking man like that, you have to watch his films. But Melly Mel says, how dare you? Doesn't matter. He's a handsome man. Come on.
But it's not about him being handsome. It's about the acting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, look, when you do anything, you're always going to have some critic, and people need to understand that, not everybody, just because it's a particular person, not everybody's going to have the same liking for a particular person. So, critics out there, you just got to lap it up.
Oh, Melly Mel says, watch 1001 on Netflix. I missed out that one. I'm not watching that ever again. That was a waste of my hour and a half to watch 1001. I mean, who's that woman?
I'm gonna
What's her
watch
name?
it.
That dancer. Oh, God. I love her as a dancer. Not Tisha. I can't remember her name. Someone give me her name. First lady will give me her name anyway. I watched it. I actually, because it was coming out this week, so I actually bookmarked it on Netflix and I watched it. I didn't watch it to the end because I got bored. And I thought this would be a really good story. Mother's trying to get her son back. Great. Oh, I love these feel-good films. No. No, not recommending it. Not recommending 1001. Not recommending One Good Day. And I'm not recommending Idris. Tatiana. That's her name. What was her name? Something. Yeah, you're right, Melly Mel. And First Lady says, rubbish. Adelaide Mackenzie says, if you don't like his acting, blame the director. No. It's the actors. The directors talk about what they want. The actors are the ones that make the story believable. So if you're not making it believable, the acting is rubbish. Sometimes the acting is really good, but the film is really poor. All right, you can get that.
That's
Rubbish
true.
film, but great acting.
The storyline.
You can't
could
say
be poor.
it was a bad director, so it was bad acting. No, you bring that character to life. That's what you get paid for. All right, bring it to life. Make it believable. Make me feel like I'm transported into that film. Yeah, sorry.
Mary Kick says he's just okay, not more than that.
Thank you, Mary King. I knew it. I knew I wasn't alone. He's okay. He's good to look at, but he's okay. He's not a great actor. He's not. Let me just check on my mix cloud, see if anyone's saying anything. Morning, Sandy Blue. Howard, what
Good
do you
morning,
reckon?
Sandy
Do you reckon Idris is an okay actor or a really good actor? He's not up there with the Samuel L. Jacksons. He ain't.
No,
He
definitely
ain't
not.
up there at all. Well, I couldn't classify him up there with the Morgan Freemans, the Samuel L. Jacksons, and things like the Lawrence Fishburnes. No. He's just Idris, a good-looking man.
Well, maybe
Bastille-
the critic,
Go on,
maybe
sorry.
super film critic HPQ needs to take on board some of your and find out why. You see, with me, if somebody said to me, "You're not good at this," or "You're not," because I've been told that, playing music, some people, didn't like what I do. I don't take offense, I think, what is it about me that makes you say that? And then take the feedback on board and then go out and do something about it. And I think maybe, but I mean, like I said, he doesn't really care, isn't he? He's a man that's up there, isn't he? He's just proper up there.
Yep. Lady B says Idris is just okay. He gets better with time. I
There you
think
go.
so.
Like fine
Yeah,
wine, right?
I think
Like
so.
most
And I
of us
never
men of color.
watched The Wire, so maybe I didn't appreciate his acting
That
because
was
I
wicked.
heard it was rave reviews about The Wire, and I never watched it. So
Bad.
maybe I need to go back
It
and
was
watch that,
hooking.
and then
Yeah,
give
watch that. I
my
think
my
that's where he.
verdict.
I think that's one of the reasons he really made it because he really acted well in it. I actually thought he done extremely well in The Wire. Absolutely loved it. You know,
Yeah.
brilliant. I'd
Sandy
watch it again.
Sandy Blue says, okay, actor, nice to look at. He's working and repping for us. He's a black brother. Yes, and I will always support him, but that doesn't mean to say that I'm going to support a terrible film. It could be
Yeah,
white,
yeah,
black, Indian, whatever. If it's not a good film, it's not a good film. It's
yeah,
just not. Sorry.
yeah. And
Uh,
it's true because we have to go out there and make it, and just because you make it now doesn't mean that you are the best. But you take on board the feedback, you take on board the critics, and you make yourself better. You go out and strive to be a better person. So there's a lot of women that share your views out there.
yeah, don't get me
And
wrong.
some that won't because they just like the good-looking man, tall.
Yeah,
You always say to me, if you're going to leave me someone, Idris Elba, you're going to leave me for him. You always say
yeah.
that.
Not his acting. It's
So,
not his acting,
the,
is it?
so
So, I'm supporting a brother.
there you go. See,
Oh, my
ladies,
gosh.
anybody want a Sharky DJ there?
So Lady Blue says none of us are perfect. That's absolutely
Yeah.
correct. She says agree, but a bit harsh. Yes, of course. I'm sorry, I'm a bit harsh. I'm just telling it how I actually feel. I do love a bit of Idris, but we are coming on to the top of the hour. I realise Sharky's got to play that ad break. When I come back, I'm going to talk about some news because we've got price rises. Right, it's March time for all the price rises. Let's talk about that. What's going on?
Okay. Okay, HPQ.
Okay, we are back. I'm just a little over 20 minutes to go with myself on Mixcloud. Loving all the updates about Angie, all the details that you've been giving us, and that's fantastic. Good morning, lovely Lee. Yes, pink. I was never a pink girl, All of a sudden I'm a bit pink. Sharky's loving the
Yeah.
pink. You're loving the pink more than I am.
I've made her into a pink girl, yeah. She wasn't a
Yeah,
pinky.
but it
Now
suits you.
everything is pink.
Right, well, it's the 3rd of March today. We are speeding in with the year. How many months to go before Christmas? 9
Gosh,
months
I
to
tell
go
you what,
before Christmas. It's not
don't you,
long.
don't you think that's actually frightening? That
It is.
Christmas is like about 9 months away. Not even, 9 months away.
I know.
You
And
know,
it's going
we
to go
are
really
3 months
quickly.
in.
Before we know it, we'll be saying September and all the Christmas
Your
adverts will be coming
birthday.
out. Yeah, all sorts. All sorts will be going on. But listen, what else happens at this time of the year? The sun comes up a little bit earlier. We get more hours in the day. And what else do we get? We get our bills back again. So, council tax is coming out this month for everybody. And all the rises, and every single one of them has risen their council tax. Some by inflation busted percentages, like Birmingham City Council. If you live in Birmingham, the West Midlands, I'm afraid the rise in council tax is going to be very difficult to swallow. Also, with the fact that they're cutting down on
That's not
so
good,
many
is it?
services. No, it's not. Your rubbish services and everything. I think we should go on. I think we should be striking, saying if we pay our money, then we should be getting the services. It's not our fault that the councils are going bust. Why are the government making us pay time and time again? We already don't have any money. But what else is going up? Those of you that live in London, and in fact, not just London, but commuters face fare hikes today. Train and tube fares go up by 4.6%. That was yesterday.
Wow.
So those of you that may have been travelling yesterday would have seen a hike in your fares. I definitely did, because what I normally pay, it was just like another £1 or something on my single ticket back into London. So yes, single tube journeys within Zone 1 will increase from £2.80 to £2.90 at peak times. And what else is going on? Fares on the Elizabeth Line, London Overground and DLR will also increase. London bus fares will remain frozen at £1.75, which is the cheapest in the country. And what else? We have pretty much the most expensive rail fares in the country.
Wow.
In Europe. I should say, not in the country. That would make no sense, would it? So we have the most expensive rail fares in Europe. How does that happen? Why do we have such expensive fares and we still can't ride in style? We still don't have Wi-Fi on our trains. They don't run on time. They aren't luxury. The toilets don't work. They come in late. What are we paying for? What are we paying for?
No idea.
Oh dear. The daily caps on the amount of pay-as-you-go that passengers are charged for multiple journeys within Greater London will also increase by 4.6%, equating to increases from 40 to 70 pence a day. Isn't that lovely that they encourage us to go to work, right? For collaboration, right, and knowledge. And at the same time, they increase the fares. I mean, what would be really nice is that if they turn around and said, listen, we want everyone to go back to work. And in conjunction with that, we'll work with the rail fare regulators, and we'll make sure the fares stay stagnant for this year to help everybody get back onto that ladder. No. Fares rises. People have to go back into work. Food rises. Council tax rises. And they wonder why people can't cope. How's everybody else coping in this wonderful land of council tax and bill rises? Our energy bills are going up on April. Please, please, please go and seal yourself into a deal, okay, and get that energy price capped before the rates go up after April also. Please do that, people. You can swap around and look for different rates and different deals on your energy supplies, on your broadband, on your car. You've got it on everything. Do not sit there and think, I'm staying with British Gas because I know them. They will charge you for knowing them.
Tell me about it.
They will charge you for knowing them. So please shop around. Also, what's going up is your TV license if you pay for it. If you're a rebel like me and you don't, you're all right. But it is going up to £179 or £174 this year. People up in arms. Enforcement letters are coming out. Take no notice, people, if you get them. Or respond to them and saying that you don't watch TV, but just do. In fact, ignore what I said, saying take no notice of them. Respond.
Take notice.
And respond and make sure you tell them that you don't watch any TV and see what they say. But don't ignore them, because they'll take you through to an SSJ, single justice procedure, where they'll fine you in your absence, and you won't have a say, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So please make sure you do respond to any of these enforcement letters.
I don't get it. If you to contact them if you don't have a TV.
So that again, because you froze there. You froze there for a hot minute.
Oh, I said, why should you be forced to contact them if you don't have a TV?
Yeah, but I think it's based on an assumption that everyone has one. And therefore, to rule yourself out of that, you have to respond. It's a bit like when you used to commit yourself to like these gym memberships. They become rolling unless you tell them you want to opt out. It keeps on going.
It keeps going.
Like automatic renewals. I've opted myself out of all of those things there. No way. Don't do automatic renewals, people, either. Please, that's one big con. I know it might seem great that it rolls over and you don't have to forget about it. There are apps that will remind you when things are coming up to pay or to change over, and you must take notice of that also. Don't do the automatic renewals. Now, the one thing I want to talk about, one of the things that I've been messing about with over the last month or so is my bank accounts. One of the things you can swap around with. And I've been with Lloyds since my inception into banking. One of my first bank accounts was with Lloyds, or was it TSB, Lloyds, TSB, Black Horse, whatever they were, till they split, come back together again. My phone's going there. And I've been with them since Kingdom Come, and I regularly do swap around my bank account looking for the best deals, i.e. the ones that give me the best savings rates, the ones that give me better options on my account in terms of gifts and rewards. But these chargeable accounts I'm coming out of now, and they really are taking the onion just a little bit. Halifax was charging me £20 a month just to have mobile phone insurance, travel insurance, and I can't remember what the other one was, RAC insurance. Now, I decided to move from them. I'd had them for ages, and I went for the coveted First Direct account because I wanted their interest rate of 7%. That's what I want. And they've got really good customer service for their banking and great rewards also. Now, you get also £175 if you switch from your bank account, and you can earn money just switching your bank accounts around, because when they switch, they will switch all your transfers with you. So you could move accounts every 3 months and get £600 just for moving, swapping accounts around. Um,
Mm.
and I also opted out of Halifax. What I actually went and did when I went to First Direct was I shopped around for travel insurance and I swapped around for mobile phone insurance. And what I found is I'm now paying £12 a month, or actually I paid it off in full. What would have been £12 a month, in fact £11 a month, for mobile phone insurance and for worldwide travel insurance. So I cut down on that £9 that I'm paying Halifax in order to get that. So it's a bit of a, when these bank accounts offering you all these little bits on top, it is a bit of a con. You can shop around and you can actually get it cheaper if you buy it separately. Now the other bank that's doing some great switching is Nationwide. They're another bank account that you can get great rewards. They're doing 5% interest for 12 months, and they have a really good rating as an actual bank also. There's another bank called Crew Bank, another internet bank, maybe trying to compete with the Starlings and the Revolut. They pay 3.6% interest. Is that on your current account? I'm just reading it properly. Yes, it pays 3.65% interest on your current account balance. That's for Crew. So if you have a current account balance and it stays in the blue all the time, then get yourself a bank account that's going to offer you interest on your money. That might be a good idea. Chase also is up there as the next bank that's offering some really good deals. You get 1% cash back on everything you actually spend, plus 5% interest for newbies. You can spend, withdraw cash abroad without incurring any fees whatsoever. So Chase is another one that's a contender. And they've risen up in the ranks. But they are backed by JP Morgan, I think it is, Chase. So, they've got a big bank behind them, so you can do that. Co-op Bank is another good bank that's offering some really good deals. They're offering you £75 to switch, plus £25 a month for 3 months. That's with Cooperative Bank. So if you switch and stay with them for 3 months, that's £150 you can actually get. So that's great. And also, let's have a look. You can get an overdraft attached to the account. So there's a number of bank accounts that you guys can apply to get to switch around, and that's just some of them. Please do look. Money Supermarket, Martin Lewis does a range of information out there which you can find out about bank accounts. Take a breath, Ali.
You've certainly done your research on banks, haven't you? Definitely the Breakfast Flight Show is where you can come and get the information in details that you may not get anywhere else. Right. HPQ.
Yes, and that's correct, actually. They did merge and then split apart and did all sorts of things. And I had both a Lloyd's and a TSB account. I was loyal to both of them. And TSB did some great kind of different incentives for the account, but I just had too many accounts, just holding them for no reason. So decided to cut all of them down, switch around. I'm going to switch to a Nationwide account just because I'm going to take advantage of that 175 switch. I've got 2 other bank accounts that I don't do very much with, so why not switch and get some money? But you'll find that a lot of these bank accounts, like I've got like a Club Premier with Lloyd's, but you have to transfer a certain amount of money in to be able to not pay any account fees and to get the benefits that they give you. Like I've got a Disney Plus subscription. So all what I do, and I've got 2 accounts like that, so all what I do, my salary comes into one account, I then move it into another. I just move it around. So each account gets the benefit of that amount of money going in, but it comes right back round to the normal one. So it's a bit of a pickle every month to start moving money around, but there are lots of things that I do pay manually through fear of them just taking it out of my account because I've had too much trouble. The only 2 things that come out really is my mortgage and my car and some of my payment details, but others are a manual thing. So I have to check it out. But please do that. Check around for your bills. Swap around, please, especially energy prices as well. Mobile phone bills, even savings accounts. Because what happens with banks, they give you these savings accounts and it only lasts up until a year. And then they revert you back to some standard interest account, which is like 0.05% or less than 1%, which is not good enough for your money. So if you've got those of you that are lucky enough to have some savings, right, move your savings around. And don't forget ISAs as well. Rachel Reeves is doing stuff to the ISAs. Make sure you change around your ISA and make sure you get the full benefit of your 20,000 allowance tax-free savings. Otherwise, When you do your tax returns, you're going to have to declare, and any money that you've earned in interest, you're going to have to pay to the tax man because you know they want everything. That is
And
HPQ over. Sorry, darling.
I was going to say, it's good information letting people know about the tax threshold and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't know how much money you can actually save without the taxes and ways to save yourself money, not realizing that the government, putting things to get as much money from you as possible.
Yeah, yeah. There's lots of traps there. One of my biggest bugbears is when you get contracts and it talks like it has all these phrases and terminology that 3 pages of terms and conditions. You name me anybody that's going to sit down and read 3 pages of terms and conditions.
Mm.
And I think we should be lobbying companies to give us 5 clear terms that we need to abide by. That's going to have a major effect if we decide to come out of contract or not. But 3 or 4, 5, 6, 12 pages of terms and condition in small print that I'm not going to read is they know what they're doing when they're doing that. It's in the terms and conditions. You should read them.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I know. But please, you need to read them, people. You need to understand them. And I think in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to try and put something together about things that you need to know about when checking out terms and conditions to make sure you're never caught. And now I'm over my time. I've got to run.
Okay, HPQ, sad to see you go.
Yes, so sad to see you go.
Definitely back tomorrow morning, right?
Definitely back tomorrow morning, but it's a short show for me tomorrow as well. I've got an appointment outside, so it's going to be up until about 9:30 tomorrow as well. And then back to normal the week after. Not unless, my good old boss decides to try and draw me in during the week, which I'm resisting. I'm resisting. You know me already.
Yes, it's resistor.
See you
Okay,
tomorrow,
you
everyone.
have a lovely day. Enjoy the sunshine. We definitely will be, won't we?
Bye.
Okay.